Hello everybody, this is Rue back again, and today we'll be looking at some more World of Nintendo figures from the Ocarina of Time series, and two from Majora's Mask. I picked these figures up a long time ago, not at all at the same time. I had to actually go back and forth through stores to see which one actually had which figures, because they would always sell out. And particularly this guy, he's pretty hard to find, and yeah. I already reviewed more World of Nintendo figures, like the Splatoon figures, which I'll leave a link of that in the description below. And they pretty much cost the same, usually about $9, I think, maybe more. I know this Dark Link was $20 because I found it at a store, and for some reason they had it marked up to $20. But anyways, they look pretty good, and I've always wanted figures of the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Unfortunately, they've released some, but they're not, they're not very accurate or anything, and they don't have a lot of articulation, as you'll see with these figures. They did release Skyward Sword Link for Figma and also Twilight Princess Link, and they're cool and all, but they're not the original Ocarina of Time Link. Anyways, we'll take a look at just the paint, articulation, and detail in these figures. Actually, we'll start with Deku Link because he really doesn't have any sort of articulation except for his head, I think. But the paint and detail look really nice. You can see they use gradients for his face and his eyes, so it looks like it's glowing. And he's got a little flower, and really all he can do in terms of art. Oh, I didn't see he has this on his butt, and yeah, he can only turn his head, I think. Oh, and actually he can't rotate his arms a little bit, and no, he can't really move his feet at all. But I mean, he's already in a nice pose, so it doesn't really matter. So yeah, I really like this figure. It was really cheap, and it's actually, I think it's pretty good in scale to these figures. And the next one will be Skull Kid, which I really like. He's really detailed. The paint is nice, and just all on. These are 3¼ inch scale figures, I think. So they're not particularly big, but they've got some pretty good detail for the size of the figure. You can see the detail in his gloves, the texture in his wood skin. Yeah, and he's just got this neat sculpting all over, and really nice paint, like I said. And actually, he came with an accessory. This mask, you just pull it off, and it's a nice little Majora's Mask. Looks really cool. There's a bit of paint here. I think I can scrape that off. Actually, I think I just made it worse. But yeah, it looks really nice. And it's really small. In the back, nothing much. And it's got these little pegs that go into his face here. You can barely, that's an eyesore kind of, but in all honesty, it's in really good light. So if you have him like from far away, you probably couldn't even tell there were pegs in his face. And again, the detail in his face is really nice. They gave him the whole beak look as opposed to the other controversial face he had in the earlier games, but a really nice detail in the eyes with the gradients and everything. So really cool. And he's got some articulation as well. He can turn his head, he can move his arms in and out, rotate all the way around. His elbows don't really go 90 degrees almost, but not really. He's got wrist articulation. He can go up and down, and I think he can rotate. Yes, he can. You got to be really careful with these figures because they're kind of fragile. His legs can do the splits this much. His legs can go forward and backwards. Not really too much because the skirt kind of gets in the way, but it's a nice soft material, so you can kind of get away with some poses. His knees can bend, not 90 degrees, but sufficient enough. And does he have boot rotation? Oh, he's got a little rotation here, and his feet can go up and down, side to side. No, not side to side. Oh yeah, I think I might have. No, we got to be careful with that. I think I just weakened the plastic there a little bit. But yeah, they can go up and down. I think that's all they can do. So not that great of articulation, but then again, like I said, these figures are only 3 inches or so, so that's okay. And it's kind of hard to get them to stand. Let's see if I can actually get them to stand up here, because I kind of ruined his pose there. So you can get him to stand, but you know, he's kind of flimsy. Next figure is, we'll go with Zelda, because really she's just a big chunk of plastic, and I just dropped everything. But yeah, really bad. Look, underneath there's nothing. It's actually quite hollow, unfortunately, but really nice detail with her, I don't know what this is, her dress. I wish this was more of a goldish color, but you know, it's a really small figure, and she's really got nice detail in her eyes. For articulation, that I think that's pretty much it. Oh no, she can move her arms in and out, and she's got a 90-degree elbow bend, and she's got wrist articulation as well, just like the other figures. But you know, that's all you're gonna get. And she actually does have a ocarina, which she can. It's supposed to. They say she's supposed to be able to hold it, but she really cannot hold it. And that's kind of how it should look, but really she can't hold it. I've tried multiple times, and it's just not gonna work. And for Sheik, again, nicely detailed and painted, and she got the red eyes like in the game. Nice sculpt. Nice paint. A little bit kind of blotchy on her arm, but that's okay. And yeah, just really nicely detailed. And she can, for articulation, she can move her head, rotate it a little bit, not too much. Again, you have to be really careful with these figures because they're kind of really fragile. Her arms can move in and out. Her elbow can kind of, well, it's kind of got a 90-degree bend, and it can rotate as well. The other figures can rotate as well, I forgot to mention that. And her wrist can also rotate, and they are on a hinge, so they can go up and down, I believe. Not too much actually with this one, because her arm guard is kind of in the way. And does she have waist? Not really. Her legs can barely move at all, forward and back, barely. Not really too much. She can split a little bit, but to her waist piece, it's not too good in terms of that. Does she have sort of a, no, she doesn't. Anyways, her knees can bend just that much. Again, the articulation is not good on these figures. Not too good. Not too bad. It could be worse. And her feet can, I never noticed her feet had that detail where her little toe was sticking out and the back was kind of like that. But anyways, she can't really move at all. Can go back, forward, back a little bit, but that's it. But it's still a good figure. I love the detail, and she does come with her harp, which is pretty detailed as well for something this small. And she can hold this, I think, if you just position it like that. She can be positioned holding it. And let's try to get her to stand, because it, like all these, I just bumped it and they all fell. Of course, she's not gonna fall now because I'm on camera. But yeah. And the last two, which are my favorites, is Link and Dark Link, which look pretty awesome. And yeah. Okay, you see it fell now because I bumped it, of course. Let's move those out of the way. And of course, this one was the rarest one to find. I couldn't find it anywhere. I actually had to go to a toy store that was very small and didn't even have a name or anything, but they had him there for 20 bucks, and I was like, I'm never gonna see this again, so I got him. And he just looks so cool. He's got the red eyes. He's not completely black. He's got gray for his tights. He's got gray for the skin, for his shirt right here. He's got gray for his hilt. He came with a sword, which is nicely painted, better painted than the actual normal Link. It's actually silver. And the shield is also silver, a nice silver as compared to this one, which could have had a more metal look, same as the sword. But yeah, you could actually take this off. You can take this sword off, and you could actually put in his sheath or hilt or whatever you want to call it. It doesn't go all the way in, but really it doesn't matter. And the shield can come off as well. Same with the other Link figure. He's got a nice sword, pretty detailed for something that's small. And you could put the sword in the sheath as well. Just move that down a bit. And of course the shield can come off as well. And you gotta be careful, because when you do take the shield off, this is on a cheap, the plastic on the hand is kind of flimsy. So this could rip off if you move it too much. Just a warning there. I think you can hook this onto the back of his sheath. I'm not really too sure. No, I don't think you can. No, I don't think you can. But I think this comes off too as well. Yeah, it does. So you can just have him normal. And for articulation, his head can rotate. His arms can rotate all the way around. His arms can go in and out as well. He's got a 90-degree bend. He's got the hinge on his wrist, and he can rotate at the wrist. He's got a waist articulation. His legs can go backwards, forwards, but due to the skirt, there's really no point in that. It really doesn't stay there at all, so there's no point in that. And he's kind of loose as well. Yeah, he's got boot rotation. His feet can go down and up. I don't know if there's any pivot, but I don't think there is, because the boot's kind of covering it anyway. But yeah, it's the same articulation for this one as well. So I mean, and they can stand pretty well. They're, like I said, they're kind of loose, but if you finick with them a little bit, you could kind of, it's not too good. You actually have to work at getting them to stand. And here they are, just with the two other only figures that I have from the world of Nintendo, the Inkling Boy and the Inkling Girl. And as you can see, they look pretty good together. The Inklings are kind of too big in comparison, but still they look good together. And something I forgot to mention is that the packaging for all of them look the same pretty much as the Splatoon figures, just, you know, with their each respected artwork. Here they are compared to with a normal 6-inch Marvel Legends figure. And here they are just compared to with a normal Figma figure. This is Link from Skyward Sword. And as you can see, you can tell the difference between detail and, of course, scale. Overall, I think these are really good figures to look for if you're just a fan of The Legend of Zelda or the fan of Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. As a kid, I've always wanted a Legend of Zelda figure or Ocarina of Time Link figure, and I never got one because they didn't really release any. There was one, but it was pretty much all he could do was move his arms. So if you ever did want one, these would be the figures to get. And of course, they come with a lot of the characters. The only one missing really is Ganondorf, like the human form. And I would love if they released that one. Anyways, this is the end of my review. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for a special figure review later on in the week. I'm still trying to process it, and it's taking forever. Anyways, thanks for watching, and stay tuned.